I'ma make you mine tonight. Pulling your hair, baby. I feel you breathing on me, on you. You know that I'm a selfish lover. When it's mine, I want it. One track mind for it, for you. I don't think I can let you go. I don't think I can let you go. Bet you love me before I go. Bet you love me before I go. I don't think I can let you go. I don't think I...
Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Real Talk with Latoria L. Nettles. I am your host, Latoria L. Nettles. We are on episode number 4 of Real Talk with Latoria L. Nettles, and as I promised, every Thursday this month, I was bringing a different interview every Thursday from different individuals from different walks of life, where we have talked about relationships, life events, and current affairs. I really appreciate you tuning in to watch any of my videos. Thanks to those of you who are tuning in now, and to those of you who will watch this video on replay. Make sure that you're following me on social media platforms at Latoria L. Nettles, and also at Real Talk with Latoria L. Nettles. I am going to bring my guest on shortly here. I'm very excited about having Rashaun and Brea Johnson on, and they're going to share some tidbits of things that they have learned during the course of their marriage. My intent was to only do 4 videos under Real Talk with Latoria L. Nettles. So I'm going to take some time to kind of reevaluate, go back and watch my videos, kind of do some tweaking, come up with new show ideas. And also I'm going to take some time to see if I want to continue to do videos or if I want to move to a true podcast format. So if you don't see me for a couple of weeks, I haven't quit or anything. I'm just going back to reevaluate and see where, what I need to work on, things that need to be improved upon. And also, I'll be reaching out to different people to bring you continuously new information, new interviews, and just things that I think would be helpful to you in any walk of life, no matter where you are in life, dealing with relationships, racism, and all of that good stuff. So again, thanks to you all who are tuning in. I am going to go ahead and bring our guest on. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Oh my God, we can hear everyone. We were having some technical difficulties, and I'm starting to think that it just muted you guys until I brought you on. So
I'm gonna turn it a little bit. What do you okay with this? So let's do it this way.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
I like it.
Okay, all right.
That is perfect. Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for coming on and joining me tonight to share some tidbits, some wisdom regarding the things that you guys have learned during the course of your marriage. So I want to just briefly introduce you guys. Brea is my niece and Rashaun is her husband. So of course that makes him my nephew. And y'all don't tell, sometimes I like him a little bit better than I like her, but I mean, just kidding. Now we do really love Rashaun, and he has been a nice addition to the family. And I really love the way that he loves my niece. I love their relationship. And one of the main reasons why I wanted to bring you guys on, because even though you are, younger than I am, I learned so much just from watching you guys and also from our conversations about relationships and some of the things that you learn. So a lot of times people think that you can't learn from someone younger than you. You can't learn from this person or that person, but you can get wisdom from anyone. And I'm just so happy to have you guys on tonight. So just briefly introduce yourselves. I know that you guys are starting a podcast yourselves soon. And we have an author in the house. So if you want to talk about that a little bit before we get started.
Oh, okay. I mean, well, a little bit about myself. Yeah, I'm the youngest of 3 siblings. I'm the youngest, and I grew up in Foley and everything. But by me being an author, actually, it was her supporting me of being an author.
Oh.
Because honestly, I didn't want to do it at first. I was still kind of iffy about it. I was debating back and forth. But she just kept pushing me, and kind of being behind my back the whole time. So. By her having that support and that love and that push, that kind of helped motivate me into being an author. And actually, my book did 4 weeks being #1 on Amazon.
How many categories was it?
In 2 or 3 categories.
2 or 3 categories, yeah.
Yeah, it was #1 on Amazon for about 4 weeks. So if anybody want to go check it out, it's called The Heart of a Beast on Amazon.
By Rashaun Johnson.
By me. Yes,
the author.
The author.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Brea, anything you want to tell about yourself?
Well, I'm LaToya's niece. I'm her sister's daughter. I'm the best thing that happened to this family.
Wow.
I met Rashaun in 2014, and we got engaged. 13 months later, got married 9 months later.
Yeah.
Moved to Tennessee. No, we moved to Tennessee before we got married. And got married at the little park in Smyrna, Tennessee. I don't know who idea was it to just wake up and just get married on May 6th. We still don't know whose idea it was. But we worked out. Obviously we were both cool with it. And here we are, almost 5 years later. Our anniversary is in 42 days. I
love it. I love it. And before we get into some of the points that you guys are going to talk about tonight, because I'm kind of gonna just let you guys run the show. Did you all catch like any flack about you guys marrying young?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I remember somebody was like, I think you're just rushing it. I think you're just too young. But I always knew, ever since I was young, I always wanted to get married young. I always knew that. I didn't know I was gonna get married at like, how old was it? 23? Yeah.
Yeah, 23.
Got married at 23. I didn't think I was gonna get married at 23, but it happened. So I did a little bit. What about you? Do you think you did?
Mean, honestly, I never thought I was gonna get married.
Wow, Rashaun.
Yeah, I mean, I just haven't had the best luck with relationships, up until I met this beautiful thing right here. But but me being married, that never crossed my mind. But by the time we got engaged and started actually making history and making memories, yeah, I knew that you were gonna be the one, and that
you knew after we got engaged. After we got engaged.
So wait a minute, we have to back up just a little bit. It was at the engagement. She was the one, Rashaun.
I mean, honestly though, because even afterwards, you still have, troubles and, difficulties in the relationship.
That is true.
Because
like, do I want to marry this person or not?
I mean, before the engagement, everything's good. But after the engagement, that's when things change. I could change, she could change. You know what I mean? So that's what I meant by saying after the engagement, I knew that she was the one, that everything was going to be perfect and everything was going to, get better for here.
That was a good cleanup, and actually, that's a good answer. That
is a good answer.
I got that down as a future show topic because a lot of people do express how after the engagement things seem to change, and a lot of people actually don't make it down the aisle after getting the rock on the finger. So that's a good point.
Right.
So
y'all get me.
I get it now that you've cleaned it up a little bit. So
Yeah, you definitely cleaned that up. Good answer, Johnson.
Appreciate it.
Well, walk me through some of the things that you both have learned during the course of your marriage.
Oh,
Because a lot of people from the outside looking in, especially for singles, we think that it's going to be a walk in the park every day.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, every weekend is going to be you serving me breakfast in bed.
no.
And when growth and challenges come, you know, how do you face those issues? Or what are some things that you've learned or wish you would have known before marriage?
I always think that you should meet or be around couples that are married as well, who've been through a lot of the challenges, same challenges that you've been through, and talk to them, go to therapy. Because you always want to talk to somebody who's been through it too. Because I look at marriage as, I feel like me and Rashaun, like we always were partners. Even when we were just talking to each other, we always communicated well. We always worked out plans together well. I feel like he's always been a great partner to me. Not to me, but we've always been a great team. And I think when people jump into a marriage, sometimes people think it's about them. I want to be married. He's cute. I want to be married because he's cute. Mm-hmm. I think you need to just think about, like, is he smart? Can he read? Does he know how to count money? Does he know how to add? Is he going to be emotionally available?
Can he read?
Well, he's an author, so, you know.
You can't be selfish going into a marriage. You have to always think about, because how old are we? 21? Mm-hmm. Think about it. When we first start dating each other, it's like you still going to experience life. So you got to think about, do I want to experience every little thing that I'm going to experience throughout my life with this person? You can't think about yourself.
Right. I mean, that's a good point. And I think a lot of people, they actually rush into marriage because of the moment. So, and, you know, they could probably have a good couple of weeks or even a good month or two. So in their mind, they think, oh, yeah, this is the one because they did X, Y, and Z. Yeah. But y'all don't have that much, you know, history together, and y'all haven't really went through the arguments, the fights, you know what I mean, to actually determine if you could actually last a long, strong, healthy marriage with that person or not.
That is true.
You know, so I feel like continue dating, continue, you know, making history and making memories and things like that. Don't rush into it. I wouldn't say that, you know, don't rush into anything, because that's one thing I learned. You know, take your time on everything that you do. Take your time on learning your, you know, your spouse. Take your time on figuring out what he or she likes, what, you know, all that good stuff. And then go to the next level if you haven't already, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I just say, you know, take your time. Don't rush into anything, you know, and, you know, just continue to learn each other and learn yourself.
Yeah, because you're always going to learn each other at the end of the day. Like, I don't ever regret getting married.
Right.
I feel like we just learn to grow and learn each other while we were married. Because we lived together, how many? I think it was like 6 weeks before we got married. But I think because we always were good partners and a good team, it worked out. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you remember that day when y'all dropped me off down up here in Little Tennessee? When y'all left, I started crying. I was like, y'all leaving me with him?
Yeah.
Like, y'all leaving me with him.
And, that's your boo, ma'am. Yes, we did leave you.
They left me.
Yeah, because I'm like, hold on, I thought we talked about this. What's going on with the tears now? I thought we was in this together.
Yeah, I was
like, guys, just to bring you up on what she's talking about. When they moved to Nashville, we as a family came together, helped them move, helped them get settled in. It was over like, it was on like a Saturday or a Sunday. So most of the immediate family came up from Alabama. I was in Kentucky at the time. So we all met up, helped them get settled. And then when it was time for us to leave, Brea was in tears. She was boo-hoo crying. Then so my sister started crying. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, we just got you settled? Everybody's driven all of this weight. And what in the world? Well, is it just at that point the reality had just kind of set in?
I was like, y'all leaving me with him.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Like, because me and Rashaun just had a weekend relationship for over a year and a half. It was a weekend relationship.
Yeah.
And then, y'all want me to live here with him?
Yeah.
But it worked out. Well, not y'all wanted me to, but we made the decision to move. But I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm like a real adult now.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy.
Reality set. So what helped you kind of get settled into your role since you moved and now you weren't just doing a weekend thing, you were in a full-blown relationship and then in a full-blown marriage. What were some things that helped you kind of settle into your new life?
Well, I think in the beginning we weren't working for about a month.
Mm-hmm.
And we just spent time together,
mm-hmm.
getting to know each other for about that month, that time. We just took time to get to know each other and talked about what we wanted, our goals for living here, our plans, our dreams, what we wanted to do. Like we talked about when we're gonna plan our wedding. We still have not had our wedding. We had to cancel our vow renewal because of COVID.
Yeah.
But
Right.
we just talked about our plans and our goals, and I think that's what made us grow stronger during that time when we first moved. So I'm grateful that we didn't work in the beginning.
Yeah.
So that gave you that bonding time.
It did.
Yeah, that quite.
And speaking of time, let's talk about quality time as a couple, because you both work. Brea, you're in school now, and even Rashaun, during the time when you were writing your book, I know you didn't have as much time as you would usually have to spend with Brea. What are some things that you do to kind of make sure that you're spending time with one another and that you're not neglecting the other person?
I'll probably say, just coming up with plans, just, getting together and coming up with a schedule because, you gotta make time because that quality time is important, so you don't really want that to fade away. So so we pretty much just came up with plans on like Saturday or Sunday, we're going to have date night or we're going to, do this, we're going to watch a movie, we're going to go out to eat or something like that, just to fill in that quality time, because most of the time, Monday through Friday, we working in the daytime and at night we. Hey, can y'all still there?
Okay, I can hear you now. It went out for a second.
Can you see us though?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. That's
right.
weird. It went away.
Yeah,
okay.
but yeah, that quality time because where I was going with it, that thing messed me up. But yeah,
quality time, scheduling like the weekends together.
Scheduling and weekends. Because Monday through Friday we always working, so during that night we just have enough time to eat something and then go to sleep. So you gotta figure it out somewhere, somehow. So most of the time, just trying to schedule out, and just have date night or something like that. You know what I mean? That pretty much, how we try to schedule in that quality time.
That's cool. And what about as a couple, especially as a married couple, what about those times when you need me time? What do you do, or are you allowed to have me time or your own space within the marriage?
I love my me time.
Yeah.
I love my me time. It's my time to think. I love like a good morning routine. So in the morning when I'm getting ready for work, that's my me time. It's quiet, it's peaceful, there's no noise. I feel like we don't really have a problem getting me time.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, I always have my me time in the morning because I feel like, that's my time to actually get my mind at a good space so I can, go through my day with no negative vibes or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So, in the morning, I love my me time in the morning. I would be in my car, on the way to work, just,
Yep, that's your me time. I listen to podcasts or I listen to an audio book. That's just like my me time in the morning. Like, one of my favorite things to do in the morning, I don't do this as much anymore. But when I do my makeup in the morning, that's like my me time. I enjoy it so much.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't wearing makeup much to work lately, but I love it.
What about realistic expectations going into your marriage? Did you feel like you actually knew what you were getting into, or were you kind of caught up in it's going to be like a movie, or what was your expectation going into marriage?
Oh man, our expectations.
Really?
I thought we were just gonna be moving to Tennessee, living our dream, living our best life.
Mm-hmm. Honestly,
Yeah, just
for me, honestly, I thought it was just gonna be like the old school type marriage. Like
oh,
I just, go to work, be the provider, and then come home, give you the check. That old, how, that I don't know why, but that's just how
that's
I
what you
felt.
thought it was. That's what you thought marriage was.
Yeah, so I thought it was just gonna be me, go to work, and then I come home, she gonna have dinner ready, that type of thing. But I'm glad it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, I would be miserable.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, how do you adjust to that when that's your expectation in your mind? I'm going to work, I'm bringing Brill the check, dinner is going to be ready when I get home. But when Brill says, hold on, wait a minute, I'm a career woman, I kind of want my own job, I want to go back to school. How do you deal with that? How do you adjust, and how do you grow in those instances?
Well, honestly, how did I adjust to it? Because
You still adjusted.
yeah, honestly.
Is he Brill?
Huh?
I said, is he?
Yeah, because
I'm doing school every day and work every day. It's a lot.
I never really had like a strong independent woman, So me having that, I'm like, oh, this different. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I ain't used to this. So you want to go to work. You actually want a career. You want to make your own 6 figures or more. All right. I guess, I'm cool with that. I ain't mad at it. But, so even though my expectations didn't, add up with the reality, but, I'm kind of glad that it did go the way it did, and not really my expectation, because I'd be miserable too,
Right.
work, hard and 13, 14 hours a day, and then just come home. Yeah, I couldn't do that.
So as a man, Rashaun, do you think that kind of intimidates a man, especially just thinking about single women who are very goal-oriented, ambitious, work. Some of them have their own cars, own houses. Do you think that is something that kind of deters a man from approaching them?
Honestly, I think they intimidate. Some people may get offended when I say this, but this is real talk. So I feel like it intimidates boys.
Oh,
That's yeah. I feel like a man, I don't think he would be intimidated by a woman having her own thing or having her own career goals, even if she makes more than him. You know what I mean?
that was thunder and lightning.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
Did you hear it? It's tornado warning.
Okay. Well, we won't be on much longer. Go ahead.
Right. But yeah. I don't think you'll intimidate a man, because a man, he's gonna always, do him, and he's gonna always, have his thing going on. So why would he try to, like reject or try to, what's the word I'm looking for? Trying to put you down.
Yeah.
To keep you from not making as much. So this is like not making you that's keeping you from being the best you that you can be.
That's
pretty
true.
much.
Right.
Yeah, so I think, a woman making a bunch of money will intimidate boys, but I don't think it would intimidate a man. So
Amen to that.
That would be my answer.
Okay,
I love it. Come on through, Arthur. So what are some things that you wished you had have known about marriage before you got married?
Oh, I wish that a married couple would have just sat us down and talked to us about how to manage our finances together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
talk about that a little bit.
There are a lot of myths in marriage. A lot of people say this, and I hear this all the time when people say, "Oh, she's good. She's married. She don't have to worry about working." oh, you're gonna be all right. You got a husband. You don't have to worry about that.
And
I'm like, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. And I think that a lot of people need to understand that when you get married to somebody, your debt and their debt's together. You may have a high net worth. Their net worth, they may be debt. That's gonna bring your net worth down when you get married.
Yep.
So it takes a while to learn how to manage your finances together, because you see more money coming in, but you still gotta pay that debt.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it's thundering. Okay, and then like another one of mine is people, when you get married, you understand that my version of a sacrifice and his version of a sacrifice is two different things. Mm-hmm. And it's something you have to learn and respect.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like an opinion. It's like something you got to learn and respect about somebody. That's a major thing for sure.
Yeah. And then, for me, I would say I wish I would have known how important honest communication. Now that's the key word, honesty.
Now speak on that for a little bit, Rashaun.
Yeah, because anybody can communicate. Anybody can say, oh, I'm doing this or I'm going through this or whatever, but they're still not honest about it. So you're still going to have that issue because we don't know what's the real you, what you're really feeling.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean? So I feel like honest communication honest communication is the key. But I wish I would have known that before because, we had conversations like, what's going on with you? Oh, nothing.
I'm good.
we still communicating, right? Because she told me that she's good, but she's not.
Right.
Good. Honest communication.
See, that's what I mean. So honest communication and really opening up on how you truly feel. So that way, I could know what to do or what I need to work on in order to make you better and vice versa.
I have to process things. Like, Toy, I grew up in a household where communication is not the strongest. So
she always says that, but
it is. It's an issue. So I feel like a lot of, especially in Black communities, the way we were raised, a lot of people are so against therapy, but a lot of people don't understand the way you grew up in your household affects your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there could be little things that your parents did when you were younger, the way they spoke to you when you were younger, that affects how you speak to your spouse today, and you don't even know it. You don't pay attention to it.
That's true.
The way you self-sabotage, the way you communicate, the way you hold grudges, it all comes from your childhood. So people got to understand that communication is one. In the beginning, I could tell Rashaun I was fine, but then 3 months later, I'd be like, you remember I was upset. Now I'm processing how I feel. I feel as though you don't do this. And that's another thing I had to learn. I'm still working on this and not saying you don't do this or you won't do this. I have to change the way I say it. Because I don't ever like to point the gun at the wrong person. Like, that's how a finger.
I mean, but we know.
Killing people?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Point the finger. So I like that honest communication.
Yeah, that's very important. That's very important in a marriage.
Honest communication.
That's very important in any relationship. And we as women are notorious for saying things are fine when they're not fine. And a lot of times I know when I say it, if I say I'm fine and I'm not fine, I'm really trying to tell you I need some space. Just give me a few minutes. Are you allowed to even say that within marriage? Like, I need some space. Give me a few minutes. Let me calm down. Let's come back to it. Because if I say it when I'm in that moment, it's not gonna come out right.
Right. Oh yeah. You take all the space you need because
I'm the type of person. Rashaun, how long do I need away from you when I get mad?
I don't know. Probably like a half a day at least.
It doesn't.
Oh my God.
When I'm upset, I need a few hours just to process how I feel. I don't ever want to say the wrong thing and hurt his feelings.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I don't ever want to be that person. So I feel like I need a moment just to process how I feel. Make myself realize, are you being irrational? Are you being rational? How are you going to say this to him? How is he going to feel if you say this? So that's why I need my moment, because I'm trying to protect my marriage.
Yeah.
Right.
And my feelings too. So, because, my feelings get hurt real quick.
Is that a truth, Rashaun?
Yeah, that's true.
It
Yeah.
is.
Okay, so I didn't know that about you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Rashaun is very sensitive. Oh, my bad.
Nah, that's you be honest. I
Well,
tell
let me put it like
everybody.
this.
Nah, that's
Let me
true.
put it like this.
That's
You know
true.
how when people like snap at you, it came from a place of here with him. Like it ain't about you, it's him.
Okay.
So Rashaun will react instead of respond. So I try to give myself space before I react so that I can respond.
Makes
And
sense.
it
That's
helps
actually
people.
a good answer. I actually like that because sometimes a lot of people like, I don't care who feelings it hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get out what I need to get out. I don't hurt your feelings, your mama feeling, the dog feeling. I don't care because it's all about me right now. And getting my anger out and just saying what I want to say. So that is very mature to like, okay, wait a minute. I need to take a moment. I need to process, and I need to make sure that I'm not doing anything that will damage my marriage. Because people say sticks and stones. What is it? Stick and stone, never burn. Bones, words will never hurt. Whatever it is.
Stick and stone,
No,
stick and
sticks
What
and
is it?
stones
Sticks and
may break
stones?
my bones, but words
But
will
words will never hurt.
That's it. I said sticks and
Yeah,
spoons.
but
Whatever.
that's
Tomato, tomato.
That's
But
a
words have a lasting impact. Like
oh,
I
yeah.
can say something to you today, and it still may resonate with you 10 years down the road. Like, I can't believe she said that to me.
Yeah.
So I think that is very important to be able to be self-aware and to be able to reflect and like, wait a minute, I just act a whole donkey.
Mm-hmm.
What about apologizing? Who's quick to apologize? Is that true? I have to ask Rashaun, is it true though?
Look, I don't know. I don't know if it's just in my blood or what. I just feel like because if I feel like if I'm right about something, even if she proves to me that I'm wrong, but I still feel right, nah, you ain't finna get my apology out of me.
And this is how I am, Toya. In my heart, in my spirit, in my soul, I know that I'm right. That makes me feel so good that I don't have to continue explaining myself. You can sit there thinking you're right when you know you're wrong, and that's what makes me feel good. When I know that you know that I'm right, that you have so much pride that you want to apologize. Because Rashaun does not believe in it. He'll apologize if I'm truly hurt.
Uh-huh.
He will apologize. I'm hurt. My feelings hurt. I'm like, Johnson, you said this. It just hurt my feelings. But babe, I'm sorry. And I know he means it. If he says it, he means it. If he says
He
it,
has to have it after all he just said. So
yeah, because that takes a minute.
Yeah.
Woo.
Nah,
what would you say to couples who are experiencing like communication issues or who are bringing in issues from their childhood into their marriage? What advice would you give those people?
Therapy.
Nah, I wouldn't even just say therapy. I just say listen. Just don't really talk as much. Whenever you talking, you really sit back and listen and really take in what that person is saying, and both ways, because a lot of marriages don't really even need therapy. They just need communication. They just need to actually take in what the other person is saying and really think about what they can do to change to make the marriage better or whatever.
Yeah.
And because I honestly feel like, a lot of people don't work as hard on themselves. Just because, like how you were saying earlier, they probably have some issues that they brought up from the childhood that they're not aware of. So if they would do some self, digging and dig deep down inside themselves to find that, they could work on it and break through and actually make the marriage better. From just self improvement.
I do. Yeah, that's my thing. Is I always want. Well, this is something I thought when I first got married. I thought I was supposed to put Rashaun first. And I don't know where I got that idea from. Maybe it's TV. I don't know. I thought I was supposed to put him before me, and that's not true. I believe that you're supposed to always, every day should be your goal. Number one, when you first wake up, is to improve your relationship with yourself first. When you improve your relationship with yourself first, it actually looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Me, when I see Rashaun working on himself, instead of trying to make me happy so much. Because he
Oh,
likes
wow.
to make me happy all the time, and I love that. I love it so much. But I love when he tries to make himself happy. It makes me love him more. So I
Ooh.
think that that's one thing that a lot of married couples, like when you're having, not being selfish, but you still want to make time for the other person, but your goal should always make yourself happy before anyone else.
I get that. I get exactly what you're saying because I'm in a lot of different groups on Facebook, and I see a lot of times a lot of wives, especially those with children, complain about how they put themselves last. The husband, and at times I think that the order of hierarchy will fluctuate depending on the need. But they're like, okay, I do this for my husband, I do this for the kids, but I never have time for myself. So I really like that you brought that up. Just making sure that you are happy within yourself and making sure that you're doing the self-reflecting and growth and development, personal growth and development for yourself. Because if you're miserable, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna make him miserable, the children miserable, the puppy gonna be miserable. Nobody's gonna want to be around
Yeah,
you.
it's gonna be a downhill.
I think that that's one thing that that's one of the reasons why I want to improve my relationship with myself.
Uh-huh.
And this year, that's like my main goal. I've been working on it for the past 3 years, but this is my main goal this year, is to find better ways to improve myself and find my own happiness that doesn't involve him. Him making me happy is always going to be there. Always going to be there. But I have to make myself happy, because when we have kids one day, I don't want to feel like I'm having a kid to make me happy.
I get
I don't
that.
want to have a kid to fill a void when
Mhm.
we don't have kids right now. I have so much time to fill that void myself and make myself happy. He has so much time to do that, because at the end of the day, we always going to be here for each other.
Right.
But at the same time, if you're depending on me to make you happy, then you just setting yourself up
For failure.
That's how you're doing.
Mhm.
Because, what if I, go the road or something like that, and then I can't really make you happy, and you just end up being miserable because I'm not here. You know what I mean? So you just setting yourself up for failure if you
Right.
try to make yourself happy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I love it. So I want to ask you one other question. What about how important or external relationships outside of just you guys? How important is it for you to be able to bond and have a relationship with like your male friends? And what about you, Brea? How important is it for you to have those relationships as well? Because some people, and I know this is not the case with you guys, but some people, like, once they get married, they cut off all the friends, family, and everybody, and it's just you two. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that you have to set boundaries with your friends and family to let them understand that, hey, this is my husband. I'm talking to my husband. But with your friends, you still talk to your friends, still talk to your family. You just make time for everybody. But at the same time, everybody understands that you have that boundary, that you do have time with your husband. But that's one thing I don't like, is when people cut off everybody for a dude or a girl. And I'm like, who gonna be there if that person ever decided they don't like you no more?
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So I talk to my folks and my friends all the time.
Yeah, that's very important, because believe it or not,
You're gonna need their support in the marriage.
that too. But believe it or not, too much quality time could be a bad thing.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It
Okay,
can be.
preach right there, Pastor.
It can, because
Think about we had COVID.
That's what I'm talking about.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Just looking at her every day, 24/7, and you can't really, I mean, you ain't a bad person to look at or nothing like that. But it just
Way too much.
But every now and then you want to go hang out with your friends, or even just do a double date or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You still that friendship outside of your marriage, I believe is very important because just spending too much time with your wife or husband or whatever, like
crazy.
Yeah, it make you go crazy for real.
Yeah,
because
you gotta have some other people because I love Johnson, but there's some things like even my best friend, I'll share with my best friend first before I tell Johnson because I don't wanna. I don't know. You know me. We've been friends for how many years? 11 years. So sometimes I'll share things with Unique because she makes sense sometimes. Before I tell Rashaun, girl, y'all need to tell him that right now. Okay, give it a couple days, then tell him. Like I just feel like, and then like Toy, I'll call you sometimes, tell you about your blockhead. I'm like, so, but I feel like you can't cut your family and friends off because they are your support system in the marriage. So that's why like, when you get married, you have a wedding. Well, we had a couple and their 2 dogs there. That was who was there at our wedding. But I wish I could find those people and like be their friend. I want to take them out to dinner or something. But I just think that the people at your wedding, you got to look at who you want there. And like, these people are going to be around when we having a challenge one day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you want to think about that type of thing. Like, so I'm so thankful that we did not have a wedding our first year when we first got married. Because we had about 300 people on the guest list the first time.
Yeah.
The 300 people ain't even in my phone.
Yeah. How many is it? Like 100 maybe?
I had like 60 people in my phone now.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
I don't have a lot of people in there. And so when we decided to make a guest list for the vow renewal that was canceled, less than 100 people. Because I know these people support our union and they'll support it forever.
Yeah. Right. I hear a lot of people say that. I hated that we had that huge wedding, all those people. We could have just taken that money and gone to an island. We could have just done something small. And I always thought that I would do something huge. But now, as I get older, I think it's important just to have, just like you said, those key people who you can call on, those people can support you and encourage you in your marriage. And I think that is so important because you really think about it, like, how do you really, really know 300 to 400 people, like personally? Can you really call on those people? And most of the time, they're coming just to watch, be nosy, eat up all your food, drink up everything, have a good time, and peace out. Yeah. And then if you run into a little trouble or something, like, hey, no, but you were there at the wedding. I can't even call on you just even for a prayer or something like that. So, and speaking of prayer, how important would you say is covering each other in prayer in your marriage, in your relationship with God, individually and collectively?
Oh yeah, God got to be the centerpiece of your marriage in order for it to work.
The centerpiece.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Arthur.
No, he really do. I mean, without God, your marriage probably ain't finna go that far. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I really do believe that prayer is a very big thing. Even if you don't do it together, if you're not comfortable enough to do it together, at least do it in the morning, during the day. Yeah, for each other. Whenever you have time, you always gotta, make sure that you have God inside your relationship somewhere. And to grow and actually get stronger.
I know. I really know Rashaun prays for me more than I pray for myself.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's.
So I forget to pray. I know God is upset with me.
I gotta know that heart.
He know our heart.
But see, look, I'm gonna get deep. Y'all are one, so his prayer had already covered you, even if you weren't praying. And when he prayed for himself, he was technically praying for you.
Period.
Amen.
Come on.
It's one flesh. Hallelujah.
Come on. Come on.
You better go to church on this podcast.
You can sow your tithes to Cash App. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just knowing the Lord has struck me down. Anything that you would want to share as we begin to wrap up? Anything that you would want to share with married couples or with singles who are praying and waiting to be married? Anything on your heart that you would like to share as we wrap up, or anything that I left out that you may have wanted to discuss?
Married people, I would say. If you have to question if this person is the one for you. Maybe they're not. Okay.
I mean, yeah.
But if they're worth fighting for, everything falls into place and works out. I mean, it will, you know.
That's true.
Because that first 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's rough.
Them first 2 years, it was rough. But like, I'm so grateful for those 2 years though, because now we communicate healthy, have healthy communication. We like even plan out our week together, our days. It's just, and this one right here, he likes
this one now.
He's a planner.
Yeah.
I'm not, but I realize when I plan with him, it helps with my anxiety. If the person's worth fighting for, you'll always figure it out. Everything will fall into place and work out for you if you love that person. And I also think that for singles, I will say this. Whenever I was 20, I had told myself, I said, I'm going to find me a husband this year. I always remember that. I always said that. Even though I knew I wanted to get married, I said, I'm going to find me a husband this year. I said that. I really forgot I said it. And then that Valentine's Day came around, 2014, I said, I went out with this dude. He was terrible. He bought me he bought me an ice cream cone. I said, this is not it. I said, this is my last year being single for Valentine's Day.
You got to know your worth.
Come on.
Right.
I'm worth more than an ice cream cone. I'm worth at least a Tesla.
Oh, wow.
At least.
And you know what? I'll say this about you, Brea. Even though you were young, I have to give my sister a shout out, a kudos, because she taught you guys how to seek God. Even when you were young, you did not stay in relationships long because you would seek God. You would ask God, like, hey, I don't care if you met a dude like on Tuesday morning, by Tuesday evening, you were like, hey, God, I met Bobo. I don't know what's up with him. Is he the one or whatever? And Brea is a dreamer. So God would show her things in dreams, or he would just speak to her spirit. And the next thing you know, we ain't hear from Bobo no more. So
God would drop him like that if he went right.
He sure he did. And that's a truth. But when Ray's son came, he wasn't going nowhere. He didn't go anywhere.
But I remember that year, I said, this is 2014. I said, it's the last year I'm being single on Valentine's Day. And then I started working on myself. I was like trying to work on paying off my debt. I started working out this much, just a little bit. And then I moved out with my roommate, Brooke. And then I met Johnson. And like, I just feel like I just feel like we just came to each other, you know? So I think for me, this is what my advice to singles is: always, every day, improve your relationship with yourself and focus on you and focus on what you want, focus on your happiness. And what can add to your happiness will come eventually. Because Johnson adds to my happiness.
Ooh.
You do.
That's cute. Yeah. So my advice for married couples to we already said this, but communication, that honest communication, let me correct myself. Honest communication is the key. So if you can't really communicate honestly in your marriage, then try therapy. That would be the next option.
I'm an advocate for therapy.
Yeah, couples therapy. Because married couples, y'all gotta, pretty much work on each other and on yourselves as well. Because if the husband working on himself or working on the marriage and then the wife is not, or vice versa, then your marriage probably ain't gonna, do too well. But you gotta be willing to work on each other. You gotta be willing to actually make the marriage grow together. Be a team, pretty much. And for the single people, I just say take your time. Please don't rush into the marriage. I mean, even though that might be the best thing that you want, or that might be the number one goal, but it'll be there. God, he will bring you your soulmate, and it's gonna happen. Don't try to rush it when you should be married 2 or 3 years later. instead of trying to rush it, this year. Because when you rush it, you're gonna end up marrying the wrong person. And then
All right, come on, preach.
and then, so you gotta go through all this heartache and breakups just to get to, the right one. So to save all that time,
Improve your relationship with yourself.
And then take your time on it, because that soulmate, he's gonna come. Trust me, he's gonna be there. So just take your time, all the single people.
Amen to that. So you guys have a podcast that's coming up soon. I don't know when you guys are going to start, but want to talk about that a little bit before you get out of here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the podcast, the name of it is Can I Speak Now? It is an idea that I had in the middle of the night, and I text Johnson. I said, hey, I just had this idea of doing a podcast. Can you remind me? We're going to talk about it in the morning when you wake up. Because I don't want to disturb his sleep. He gets his 8 hours. I want to disturb his sleep. So we want to talk about things that you didn't learn, or things you couldn't speak about when you were younger. So, you're a kid, they say, can't just be quiet, grown folks talking. So we named it Can I Speak Now? Because this is our platform and our moment to talk about the things that we didn't talk about when we were younger, like mental health, finances, relationships, goals, self-improvement, those type of things. Like that, over the past 3 years, I learned so much. And I'm just thankful that we had all the time to learn and all these things, so we can do this podcast. So we want to have guests on there that are actually gonna share knowledge with everyone else.
Right.
Yeah. So we pretty much, our main mission, our main goal for this podcast is to actually educate families and pretty much, bring up the topics and the subjects that they're probably either too scared to bring up, or just don't feel comfortable to bring up, or just don't even know about it. So, so our main goal is to actually educate the families, so the families can grow.
Yeah.
And so that way they can be better as a family.
And break generational curses.
There too.
Amen to that. Well, I love it. Just make sure that whenever you guys do get started, that you let me know. I'll be glad to, definitely share your information on my page. I also just want to encourage anybody who is thinking about starting a podcast, writing a book, an article, a blog, baking a pie and selling it out the back of your car. Whatever it is, just go ahead and take that leap of faith and do it. It's not easy. And I just want to be totally transparent right now. It is not easy for me to do these videos. I'm still trying to grow. I'm trying to learn new technology, new software. I'm trying to improve upon my interviewing skills and communication skills. But I still get afraid. Sometimes y'all know, before I hit that go live button, I be shaking in my boots. I be about to pass out, because sometimes I'm so nervous. But I know that God has given me a gift and a platform so that we can have these conversations, so that we can work on ourselves, better our families, and as Brea said, break generational curses. So whatever it is that God is placing you to do, go ahead and get started. I don't care if you I didn't have ring lights and all this other stuff that I have now, background. I just started with my phone, just doing a video. I do one video, inspire somebody, and keep it moving. And here we are 3-4 years later, still doing videos. So I'm sure you guys, Rashaun, you probably were shaking in your boots when you were talking about being an author. Brea, you probably were kind of nervous about trying to think about starting a podcast. But what did you do? You put effort to it. And if you make one step, one thing I can guarantee, if you make one step, I can guarantee you that God will begin to open up the doors for you to do exactly what it is that He's called you to do.
And
go ahead.
I saw this on TikTok yesterday. I'm always on TikTok University. And I thought about this. It's stuck on my mind now. He said the meaning of supernatural means you do the natural and God does the super. So you do what you're supposed to do, the natural part.
Hallelujah.
Super. So boom.
Amen.
And on that note,
Drop right.
Thank you both so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the wisdom and insights for the married couples and also for singles as well. And I will talk to you guys shortly.
All righty.
Bye, y'all. Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video. Thanks to those of you who are watching now, and also to those of you who are going to watch this video on the replay. Again, just as a quick reminder, I am going to take a few weeks off just to reevaluate, self-reflect, go over some things, try to figure out, what I need to improve upon, also to make sure that I'm bringing on new guests, different ideas, and different topics to talk about. I hope you have enjoyed these 4 episodes of Real Talk with Latoria L. Nettles. So if you don't see me, again, it's not because I quit. I'm just doing some reevaluating things in the background. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your support. And I will see you all on the next video when it is time for me to start back again. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to Real Talk with Latoria L.